Alright, here's my video about what I would have wanted done differently for Star Wars. This one is for episode 9. If you watched 7 and 8, you understand that the only things I might have kept from 7 are some of the new characters. Poe, Finn, Rey, maybe Kylo. Probably Kylo, but possibly different person and background. Definitely not including the character assassination of Luke Skywalker. So hopefully you just watch those, because I talked a lot and it's hard to recap all of that. But where we can start from in episode 9 is that Thrawn is doing a good job. Like, he has built most of his fleet, and he's using the tactics that the rebels did before, where it's hit and run, it's guerrilla tactics, it's low risk, high reward. And we at this point have our dark force user helping Thrawn. We have a working Jedi Academy. Luke is a supporting role, like he is running the Jedi Academy and is supporting from a distance the people who are the focus of our movies, of our sequel trilogy movies. Han and Chewbacca are likely handling most of the communications with the smuggling groups. Maybe I should mention too that a lot of this is really, just as a reminder, based on what Timothy Zahn did in the original Thrawn trilogy that starts with Heir to the Empire. And some of it needs to change based on there being a 30-year gap. And some of it, some of his original stuff I would change because I don't like the Salamiri, or the idea that a clone of a Force-sensitive person is necessarily also Force-sensitive. Like, that feels like it puts it too much in the realm of something that can be explained by science, and the Force is supposed to be magic, mysterious. So I don't want to use those concepts from the original Thrawn trilogy. But other than that, essentially, I'd like to take the major components, and episode 9 would be kind of the two big showdowns between the small group of our heroes and the main characters of the bad guys, and the what's supposed to be the last big attack that's going to take down the New Republic that Thrawn makes, and of course the New Republic defenders. So we get our nice big space battle We get our character-driven, smaller scale battle. And at the end of it, I would like to see Han, Chewie, Leia, and Luke like sitting next to each other in a like somebody's yard, you know. There's clearly like a outdoor event going on, like a celebration, and the heroes of the sequel trilogy are, you know, off to the side, and our heroes of the original trilogy are looking over them, proud and happy, watching their kids and their friends play, essentially. Just, well, not play, but drink and have some food and talk and also seem happy. And Han or Leia maybe makes an offhand comment about how they should probably start being careful and looking for the next big thing. And Luke can say something like, I don't think we have to worry so much about that anymore. It seems like the galaxy is in good hands, and he just like nods to the others there that saved the galaxy this time around. So you get a better capstone to the Skywalker saga, which is to say that the story of Anakin Skywalker can end with his kids passing the torch to some of their kids and other people, and maybe the Skywalkers aren't going to feature in the next big Star Wars story, but are just a really slow-moving garbage vehicle caused slight bottleneck. I like the idea that the Skywalker saga ends saying there are going to be more stories in the Star Wars universe, more things for other people to be responsible for, more adventures, more villains, more of what we love seeing. And kind of the stuff that Anakin had a fairly direct hand in, it is tied up in the sequel trilogy. The empire he helped found is now completely done. Like, there's no way they're recovering. I mean, there might be a few essentially pirate fleets out in the galaxy somewhere harassing people, but they're not a threat anymore to anyone in particular, to any system, I should say. And if they want to make a series or a series of movies that center around Rey and Finn and Poe, happy to see those characters more. They're fine characters. Might be my shortest of these videos because I don't feel like I can give a lot of detail. Because I'm not changing pieces of the existing movie. I'm completely throwing out the existing movie like I did with episodes 7 and 8. And I talked a lot in the episode 7 video, and that one was pretty long. I talked a fair amount in episode 8, I think. I imagine a fair amount of that was probably ranting against Ryan Johnson because that guy is a despicable piece of crap. I'll never forgive him for the harm he did to the Star Wars universe. So yeah, his movie is thrown right out, like, because it's garbage. It's just garbage. And so by the time we got to the episode 9 video, didn't have much to add except to say that it's kind of the climax between Thrawn's forces and the New Republic. He is, and this is different, my idea is a little bit different from the book, where I figure Thrawn actually gets the fleet that he was trying to build in the original Thrawn books, instead of the final battle really being over the fleet, this ghost fleet that has been asleep in deep space for a long time. So in my version, he finds this fleet and uses it to bolster his current forces, to like, he uses them really intelligently and keeps doing his hit and run tactics, at least at the beginning of episode 9, with the intention of spreading out the New Republic's military forces, so that they feel they have to cover all the bases, all of what seem like major military targets, and it turns out to be the galactic capital, whatever the New Republic chooses. Maybe still Coruscant, maybe they try to rebuild there. And yeah, there's still a good portion of the New Republic defenses there at Coruscant, however, not as much as normal. Okay, I guess I am still talking about episode 9 and giving details. Good. Okay. Yeah, so I figure he'll use a very small amount of his resources, possibly even just like a few of the automated ships, like not risking any of his living resources. Sends them to attack what will get a lot of attention, something that is a big military target. and really just trying to make it seem like that's his next big target. Maybe even like sensor foils that, and by foils I mean something that foils sensors, that make it seem like a much bigger fleet jumped in to the system. So they call for help, and the New Republic tries to send extra help. The small group of heroes, good guys, are like, wait a second, that doesn't feel right. Something is wrong here. The Force is telling me something is wrong, or maybe one of them is really also a decent strategist, figures out what the real target likely is. Yeah, so anyway, they go to Coruscant and try to do the same thing Thrawn is doing by trying to cut off the snake's head, so to speak. So while the military forces are protecting the planet and fighting the big space battle, these guys go straight for Thrawn's command ship. Board it. And Thrawn, of course, has his dark side helper there, but because they attack and he needs to defend against them, he can't really help the fleet, his fleet, the way that he normally would. Yeah, I think it could work out pretty well. I think it could be cool. Alright, so I think that's my episode 9, what I would do differently. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Maybe I'll do one for Solo, what I would have done differently. I already mentioned Andor, along with Rogue One, but maybe I'll start hitting some of the live action series that Disney started putting out. Yeah. So, see you next time.